that's bad. I don't even remember what I left. I left a belt somewhere. I've had to buy new belts, razors. I left a razor in Oklahoma. And the worst part is, oh goodness gracious, can I tell this story? The worst part is, Perry, and you might understand this, is I always forget to zip my pants, for crying out loud. Oh, I know. It's just, I was at a funeral just a few weeks ago, and I texted the preacher from Memorial where I go to church, and I said, hey, it's been a while since I've done a funeral. What do I need to do? And he said, oh, check this, do this, just comfort people, whatever, and check your fly before you get up. And I remembered that when I was standing down in front of the casket after having talked to people for an hour. And I was like, oh, and sure enough, it was down. Gee, anyways. Well, very good. It is good to be here and good to see you. Thanks for letting me come back. I have a lot of good memories here. So, I do work with Southern Africa Bible College, and you remember that. And James has told you about his trip. Did you tell him about the trip when you got back? Did you give him a report? Oh, my goodness. He misbehaved so badly. Always out carousing at night. Had to go find him in the rural bars and stuff. And this is going to be online, isn't it? Yeah. He's a wanderer. Did you know that? He's a wanderer. He just wanders off. Just, oh, yeah, let's go. He mentioned I should remind you how Tex Williams is tied to this work. So Tex was in Benoni. You said in 1957, I think he got to Benoni. Well, Al Horn was a South African converted in 53 by Elder Eccles down in Port Elizabeth. And then Al came to Abilene when he studied there and graduated in 59, and then moved back to Tanzania first. So Tanzania, there's a mission effort there called Chamala, and the Bible college was up on a mountain, and there was a hospital, and the hospital is still there today. But in 66, Al and Eldred said, hey, we're going to start a school to train local people in southern Africa. And so they moved to Swaziland and bought property there. They didn't want to move to South Africa because they didn't want to deal with apartheid. So they moved to Swaziland, bought the property there, a few hundred acres. But Tex was preaching in Benoni, which is a suburb of Johannesburg, and he said, no, y'all need to come start the school here, and then your graduates can go out, because South Africa was more stable, it was a better education system, all these different reasons, better health care for them, they were having kids and all this. So they moved to Benoni to start the school, and, it's not started, not up there yet. But Al told this story. He said Tex Williams was coming back to the States to work with Sunset at that point, and Tex told Al, you preach for the Benoni Church, which was probably several hundred member congregation at that time, and then I'm going to go back to the States. I'm going to find somebody to come preach for Benoni, and you can just work fully for the school. And 50 years later, Al said, I'm still waiting on somebody to come preach for Benoni. So he preached for Benoni all those years and worked for the school. So, and we do have the West Side Church of Christ supports the Tex and Mary Jane Williams Scholarship Fund. So a lot of good ties. And there towards the end, I don't know, talking to Tex Williams, he didn't remember much, but I'd go by and visit him, and he said, man, I should have never left Africa. I don't know why I left Africa. He just loved it very much. So anyways, so that's kind of how Tex is tied to the school and an integral part of where it's at. By the way, that property they purchased in Swaziland became what is today African Christian College. So some of our graduates went and started that school a couple of years after they graduated from SAPS. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk about a little bit more about history. This is a clip from a video called Benoni, Son of My Sorrow, which is what Benoni means, Son of My Sorrow. It's Benjamin was the name his dad gave him, but his mother, who died in childbirth, called him Benoni, right? And this is from 1971.
I am Al Horn of the Southern Africa Bible School, a school for training preachers in Benoni, South Africa. This school was started with the deep conviction that the responsibility for evangelizing Africa rests upon the shoulders of the South African Christians. American brethren can best contribute to this end by training capable men to share the unsearchable richness of Christ with their own people. When the Apostle Paul wrote to Timothy, he said, "The things which you have learned from me, the same commit thou unto faithful men who shall be able to teach others also." In the closing comment of Jesus Christ in the Great Commission, he said, "Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you," thus committing to every Christian community the responsibility of sounding forth the words of life.
So the school was founded on the principle that we're going to equip local people to evangelize the local area. I mean, that's best, right? They know the customs, the culture, the languages, and so we're going to equip the local people to do that. By the way, this is 71. That's probably about the time Northside had held a baby shower for the Horns, probably somewhere in that time frame, maybe a little earlier. I'm not sure, but y'all did that, and they still remember that today. But the goal was to equip the local people, and so they started a school under a tree. It's a chestnut tree that's still on campus today. 5 students and 2 faculty members got together and said, "Hey, we're going to reach Southern Africa with the gospel." Well, how hard could that be? Well, if you consider the same time, same amount of people and same amount of land, it's probably taking everything west of the Mississippi and say, okay, we're going to reach that with the gospel of Jesus. So it's a big area and it's a lot of people. But what have we accomplished through this? Well, today we have a 22-acre campus with dorms for men and women, married student housing, faculty housing. We've got a library that was built in 2000 to go along with our accreditation, because we're an accredited college. Still have to deal with the accrediting people just like they did at Austin Grad, and it's hard. But so accredited in 2000, so graduates get an accredited Bachelor of Arts in Theology degree. Okay, but beyond that, beyond buildings and such, an example of how I know the school has been successful is because today there are about 450 churches of Christ in South Africa alone. And we've had 1,500 graduates from 30 countries who are in 50 countries around the world now. But in South Africa alone, there are about 450 churches of Christ. And there's not any American missionaries. So local people are leading all. Not all of them are graduates of SABS. I wish that were the case, but not all of them are graduates of SABS, but they're all South Africans. So where would the church be in Southern Africa without people equipped to lead over the years? So we're really excited about what's been accomplished through the school. I'll give you one more short video clip.
Along the canyons of the great metropolis rush the teeming hordes of her people, people of every race, color, and culture, all hurrying to a rendezvous with death and judgment. Today, they are mining gold, trimming the roses, washing the car. Tomorrow, they will be gone, gone without God and without hope. How can we reach these restless millions hurrying on their way to eternity? Can we import enough preachers from the American heartland to stem this tide? No. For the handful who have come over the past 20 years have hardly scratched the surface. Shall we send our most promising young Christians to the United States for training in the hope that someday they will come back to us? Many have gone, but very few of them are back preaching among our people. What then can we do to reach our own people with the gospel in this generation? I found my personal answer to that searching question here.
And that is the original building on SABS campus right there. But again, he asked the question, how are we going to reach the people of Southern Africa? Are we going to bring American missionaries over to reach the people? Well, we have a hard time filling our own pulpits now, much less sending missionaries, right? Or are we going to take South Africans and send them to the States to study? And then what happens? Al Horn said 90% of the South Africans that came when he came stayed. And that's fine. They did great. Abe Malherbe was from Benoni. He became a world-renowned Old Testament scholar, taught at Emory University, right? Very accomplished individual. But we just drained the local church leadership. And so preparing and equipping them in Southern Africa makes all the difference. So just a couple of quick facts about the college. Number one, the Memorial Church of Christ in Houston is the overseeing congregation for this work, has been. They were Al's supporting congregation since 1959. They are solidly behind this work. Memorial is a 700-member congregation located in West Houston. They send people, have sent people every year to go to lectureships and to be on campus, and they provide counsel for the board of directors in South Africa, as well as financial support. They are our largest supporting congregation. In June of 2024, we took 40 people from Memorial, from 14 on up to 70, I think it was, to go and work on campus and be a part of the effort. So the Memorial congregation is solidly behind this effort. Secondly, the picture of the rand there, that's the South African currency. It's to remind me that South Africa gives significant and increasing support to the work. So our third and fourth largest supporting congregations are in South Africa. The Benoni Church of Christ and the Ashley Gardens Church of Christ in Pretoria give more than any other congregation except for Memorial and I think it's Westside in Round Rock. And they continue to try to find ways to increase that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then third, picture of the South African flag is to say that the school is completely run by South Africans. Our board of directors, our faculty, our staff, all South African. We're on our third CEO. Our first CEO was Al Horn, who was a missionary and very evangelistic, and that culture is just embedded into who we are. Our second CEO was a diplomat and worked for South Africa in the UN and did some amazing things. And when he took over, he did a lot of things to make sure everything's done by the book. We are accredited, we are audited, everything is looked after. There's nothing hidden here. And he was quick to do that. And then our third CEO just started a year and a half ago. His name's Marcel Berg, and he left a 30-year career in business, working for South Africa's largest paper company, think Kimberly-Clark type paper company. And he's managed warehouses, he's managed offices, he's worked in finance, he's done all different sorts of things. And he left that career at 50 to come run the school. And it has absolutely been amazing to see the changes that he has brought and the improvements just in the short time that he's been there. And we'll talk about that in a minute, so I want to move quick. This is kind of a full circle story, again, talking about what we've accomplished. Remember, we've got graduates in over 50 countries. This is Sokentela. He's from Zambia, and he came to SABS in the 80s, and then he came to Harding, and then he went back to Zambia. And so he worked planning congregations, working for congregations, and now he's an elder at a congregation in Livingstone, Zambia. And they started a school, a preaching school there. So they bring in some men to teach them how to evangelize Zambians. If you talk to him any minute, he is all about how Zambians should be reaching Zambia, okay? And so he needed quality faculty members for his school. And so what does he do? Does he send them to the States? No, he sends them to SABS. So we've got 3 students now from Zambia that are studying there, and when they graduate with their accredited degree, they'll go back to Zambia and work for that school. And to me, that's just a full circle moment to have somebody that came in the 80s, studied, was blessed by it, and now has started a school that's reaching out to many other people in Zambia. So, but okay, that's all past, right? What are we doing now? Good question. I'm glad you asked. This is a brand new video that they did talking to recruit students and talking about the education. So I'm going to let you watch it. It's about 3 minutes long. So.
Welcome to Southern Africa Bible College, a beacon of hope and truth since 1966. Rooted in faith, built through service, and inspired by a global mission, this is more than a college. This is a calling. Founded through the vision of missionaries Aldred Eccles and Alhorn, what began as humble classes under a tree has grown into an institution of higher learning with a footprint that spans continents. Our mission: to train men and women for ministry in churches of Christ. Our vision: upholding the truth of the gospel in Southern Africa. Today, SABC is registered as a private higher education institution, offering a higher certificate in theology and a Bachelor of Arts in Theology. These programs blend rigorous biblical study with practical ministry experience, preparing students not just to know the Word, but to live it. Our impact is unquantifiable, from church plantings in remote villages to preaching in global congregations worldwide. SABC alumni carry the message of Christ to every corner of the earth, with students from over 20 nations, including South Africa, Ghana, Korea, the UK, and the United States. The college is a rich tapestry of cultures united by a common faith. Our faculty and staff are more than just educators. They are mentors and guides. And under the leadership of our CEO and director, Marcel Berg, we continue to grow with vision and integrity. Governed by a dedicated board of directors and funded by the generosity of churches and individuals, the college remains steadfast and accountable, ensuring that our mission is sustainable for generations to come.
I'm Marcel Berg, the CEO of the Southern Africa Bible College. At the college, we believe the Bible to be the inspired Word of God and the final authority on all matters personal and spiritual. This forms the basis of our in-depth biblical studies.
Our focus now extends towards future priorities, expanding academic offerings, deepening partnerships, strengthening digital learning, and extending our influence across the Southern African region and beyond. Southern Africa Bible College, where faith meets scholarship and purpose meets preparation. Join us. Your mission starts here.
So one of the key things about the school, and I'm going to have to skip over Zamelli and Amanda, but one of the key things about the school lately, in the last year and a half, has been growth and the number of students that have been applying. Typically, our average number of students is about 40 students. And after COVID, it struggled, right? Everything kind of struggled coming back from COVID. And in 2023, we had 27 students. And Marcel, coming in, all bright-eyed, ready to go, he said, Kirk, we're going to grow this. And in 2025, we're going to have 36 students. That's our goal. I said, okay, that's great. We need to start growing again. Well, it turns out for 2025, we had over 100 applicants and have 54 students. So their ability to communicate the message, their willingness to get out and changing their messaging about what the school does and how it blesses not only congregations but individuals has made a huge difference and got a lot more attention. Now, you're part of our student sponsorship program and you support 2 students with the support that you provide. And so here are the 2 students. I'm going to have to cut them short just for time, but I want you to get a taste of who they are and what they are. I didn't run them through the AI and put the words in them, I don't think. So good luck.
Great.
So if you would say your name and where you're from.
I'm Kotani Cassandra Ngoma from Middlelands Church of Christ.
Great. And why did you come to Southern Africa Bible College?
I thought I knew the Bible until I was asked basic questions about the Bible. Who wrote the Bible? How do you believe to the Bible? I couldn't answer those questions. I was like, this is the good chance for me to go and study more about the Bible and learn and also grow spiritually, because I had that mind of doubting God sometimes, but I didn't like that, because I felt like whenever bad things happens to me, He's not there to support me. I'm always alone. God doesn't exist. It's just that people do understand that He exists. And until my uncle told me that people say God is alive. Have they seen them? Have they seen Him? And I'll be like, no, you don't have to do that. We all know that God exists. For He created the heaven and the earth. And He knows that all of us gonna die. But those who follow His way will live eternally, and those who doesn't follow His way will perish. So that's why I had to come to the Bible college to learn more about the Bible.
Good. And what do you want to do when you finish?
I was hoping to do nursing. I love nursing. Nursing, yes. I love nursing. So I was actually supposed to go to the nursing college this year until my preacher introduced SEPs to us in our congregation. I was like, okay, how about I pause that nursing part and attend this SEPs academics, and then because sometimes patients need to have that one-on-one counseling and I can't even counsel them. So maybe, just maybe, but eventually I'll benefit the courage to be able to counsel someone who has problems. I would like to thank them so much.
All right, I'm going to try to come back to him. But she's a typical female student, right? She's not going to ever earn a living by coming to the Bible college and preaching for a congregation or whatever. So she's going to come and get what she can. She wants to know more about God, and she puts her time and money and effort where her mouth is and says, I'm going to first go and learn about God before I go into my career, going to nursing school. Now, one of the benefits we offer is the fact that we are an accredited college. And so when she gets her bachelor's degree, she can go back to school and get an honors degree, probably not for nursing. She probably has to go through a full program to go to nursing. But graduates can go for another year or two and become teachers, counselors, social workers, things like that. And so they get 3 years of their college covered, and then they go back for just 1 year or so and get a degree that will help them earn a living. Okay, and that's their typical female student. They want to know more about God. Matter of fact, that's what you'll hear from the men as well. So let's go back. Can you push play on his video from up there? If you move that mouse, it
My
should.
name is Joseph Dikimamban. I'm from.
Yeah. There you go.
My name is Joseph Dikimamban. I'm from Pretoria in Kalimantan at Refugee Church of Christ. I'm 21 years old. Last year I was in Metro. I was doing Metro. Then I found an opportunity to come here because of I was in church. Then I found Brother Tato evangelism on that side because our church is a small place. They wanted people to come. So I heard about a Bible college and some of the students were there. So nobody recruited me, but I started searching it online. Then I texted them, told them that I want to go, and they accepted me in this.
Very good, very good. Now, what do you want to do when you graduate?
After I graduate here, I want to go for I can't say in abbreviation, but I want to be a policeman. To be a policeman. Yeah, I want to be. That's what's my dream. So it sounds weird when I tell people about it. It sounds like you are still a child or something. But I find it really interesting because it's a very good chapter to me.
Okay.
My name is Joseph.
So give explanation. So he was recruited by by our student recruiter, Tato, who was preaching for his congregation, and he wants to be a policeman. Well, why is he coming to SABS? That's not going to help him be a policeman, is it? But again, he wants to know about the Bible. He wants to be able to work in the congregation. 80% of our graduates will work secular jobs and preach. So not all churches, even though 450, not all of them will fully support a preacher. Many will, about 20%. But he's going to get this education first before going to be a policeman. Can you imagine a policeman that's coming to help you, that has a solid foundation in Scripture and a love for people? That's going to make a difference, as well as in working for the congregation. Okay, so we provide a solid foundation from the States. We do trips. We do 2 trips a year. In April, we do Bible teacher workshops and church leader workshops. And the reason we do that is because of these 450 congregations, 200 of them were started in the last 20 years. So they're not extremely mature congregations. They not all have elderships. They don't all have Sunday school classes and all that. So they've got all these new Christians that don't know how to teach Bible classes. So we do Bible teacher workshops and then church leader workshops to work with people who are going to become elders and deacons and things like that. And we provide that extra expertise as part of the support we give from the States. They do have very qualified individuals and very capable people over there to do that as well, but we just add to that and kind of do what they tell us needs to be done. Secondly, we provide introductions. So what does that mean? That means that people here in the States introduce us to others here in the States that might be interested in this work. For instance, we had some people from Memorial, a young couple, move up to Anchorage, Alaska a few years ago. And they told people about the work at SABS. And so, man, I had to sacrifice and go to Alaska in 2017. And so we have some supporting congregations and individuals in Alaska. And we're going back next week to visit again. It's going to be a little colder than it was in August of 2017. But, you know, we'll sacrifice and make the effort. So introductions make a huge difference. People telling other people about us, other individuals, other congregations, and then, of course, financial support. We do have growing financial support in South Africa, but they couldn't do it without the support that we provide. So where are we going? Number one is growth. I already mentioned that we've grown quite a bit, doubled in 1 year, but the problem is now the campus is full. So 54 students is pretty much our max on campus. So what do we do? Well, that's something they're working on now. And they're talking about Project 2030, where it's how do we have 100 students by 2030? Well, why do we want 100 students? So we can say we have 100 students? Or because that will be 100 congregations that will then be blessed by people who know the Word of God and how to teach it and how to share it. So growth is our number one priority right now. How do we work this out? How do we get more dorms, more faculty, etc., for doing this? Secondly is the increased South African financial support. So they've done all kinds of things to try to get the word out and get more congregations and more individuals involved in supporting the work. And also they have some property, houses that they have used for housing, for faculty members or such. And so now the idea is we're going to turn those into commercial properties, income-producing properties, so that they can get more financial support from South Africa as well. And so that's something they're looking into. And having Marcel there at this time with his business mind, I think is going to be a huge benefit to us. And then third, facilitate church planning. So 200 congregations in the last 20, 25 years, that's pretty good, but there's a lot more that can be done, because the problem in Southern Africa is that people are receptive to the gospel. They want to hear, they want to know, they want to study. They've been told all these years about gods that they had to appease, and by the witch doctors and all this kind of stuff. And yet you come to them with a God that loves them and cares for them and talk to them from Scripture, and they're receptive. They're open to hearing. So we're really excited about how we're going to facilitate church planning. One of those things we're doing was actually a program started by the Hilltop Church of Christ in Johannesburg, where they saw that churches grew faster if they had a full-time minister. So they started a graduate internship program that provides a little bit of support for a graduate while they preach for a congregation that can provide a little bit of support, so they get more of a full-time support, and they can preach full-time. And that has really helped out. And so we've got 12 graduate interns this year, one in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, one in Zimbabwe, and the other 10 in South Africa. Okay, but all of that really means nothing if we're not impacting lives, right? So this is Francis. Francis is an elder at a congregation called Shiawela, and it's on the southwest side of Johannesburg. And he's been at that congregation for probably 30 or 40 years. And it's been about a 100-member congregation for about 30 or 40 years. And when he retired from the diamond industry, he said, how can I give back to God? I have been blessed. I'm going to give back to God. I'm going to go to SABS and learn how to minister in my community better. So at 60, he came back to school. And he got some of the younger students coming over and working with the Shiawela congregation. And then they hired their first full-time preacher in 50 years. And the congregation, in less than a year, grew from 100 to 200. And then they appointed their first elders, and then their first deacons. And so he has been really impacted by the work of SABS, and this is what he has to say.
But honestly speaking, if you do have a congregation without somebody from SABS, from the Bible College, you better think twice or more, because you will never succeed. I've got experience before and after from Chawela, because I congregated there since I got baptized. There was no one from the Bible College. And after that, because you'll be working more harder, because you know you have a knowledge now of the Bible from the college, your increase, it will be more than 60% or 100%. I will really say, please, if there's a brother in there outside, in South Africa, let's encourage more people to come to the Bible College, because that's our future.
That's why we want to grow, because that is the future. And so we're really excited about what's happening and the impact that it's making. So how can you be involved? Stay informed. Stay informed. I send out a monthly e-newsletter. There's a sign-up list on the table. If you don't get that and would like to receive it, it's got videos in it like the ones you've seen. It's got information about upcoming trips. It's got information about what's going on campus. Just one email a month. So you can sign up out there. I also have old newsletters. Actually, we've got a brand new one that's sitting out on that table for fall of 2025. Hope you'll enjoy reading it. It's got some good articles about a mission trip that the students took, about a graduate from the 1980s who was a contemporary of Sokuntelas, but from completely different worlds, right? Sokutela was from Zambia. Derek was from Ireland. He was converted in Ireland, and the missionary said, you need to go to SABS. And so he came down to SABS, and since that time he's preached all over the world and has done some amazing work. So just stay informed about what's going on. And part of the reason for that is so that you can pray for it. Pray for SABC regular, and I can help you out with that. So I've got notepads out there, and you can have as many as you want. The more you take, the less I have to carry around with me, so take all you want. There's just one catch, right? Every time you use it, you have to pray for Southern Africa Bible College. All right? So pick some up and pray for the work. Support it. Yeah, the congregation is a great supporter, and we really appreciate that, and it's going to be needed going forward because great things are coming. But if you support works individually, hopefully you'll consider this. We have 80 supporting congregations in the U.S., but we get 20% of our funds from congregations. 80% of our funds come from individuals that support at $5, $10, $15, $100 a month, etc. And so we couldn't do 80% of what we do if we didn't have individuals supporting us. Tell others about us. If you know somebody, a congregation or an individual that might be interested in hearing about the work, tell them, introduce us. I'd love the introduction. And we'll go, I won't embarrass you, I promise. And then finally, visit. If you can't go be part of sending somebody that can, I can't promise 75 degrees except in April. April is 75 degrees. And lots of motorcycle riders, just saying. But come be a part of the trips. July, you don't want to go in July with us. July will be cold. You saw the video. Everybody's wearing coats and stuff. Yeah, that was filmed this June. So it does get cold. And they don't use central air and heat. So if it's cold outside, it's cold inside. And then what should you expect to receive? You should expect to receive all kinds of reports and information, student reports. If your students send quarterly reports, if you haven't seen some of those and would like to, talk to James or talk to me, and we'll send those to you. Additional email newsletters, invitations to special events, etc. And then I'm going to finish off with, I'm going to skip him and go to the next one. Is there another slide on there? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I'm running behind. So this will be the last video. This is the video that they produced last year, and hopefully you'll enjoy hearing from some of the students. And hopefully you'll enjoy hearing from some of the students. Well, you press play, see if it's...
We are the students of the Southern Africa Bible College.
And we're excited to share a slice of our journey with you.
This isn't about just Bible education. It's about the transformation of the heart, mind, lives.
The teachings we've received have allowed us to dive deep into the wisdom of the Bible,
to understand its message, to study, to reflect, and to grow in our faith.
We're not just students here. We are being equipped to become preachers, leaders, and messengers of hope.
The provisions that you have made available for us have not only given us an opportunity to have an education, but also to experience a transformation.
Beyond the classroom, we've learned the power of compassion and the importance of reaching out to those in need.
Our experiences have empowered us to believe in ourselves.
To dream big and work hard to make those dreams a reality.
In the halls of this college, we don't just pursue education.
We seek God's wisdom, His truth, and His purpose for our lives.
Your generous contribution have transformed this classroom into places of learning,
where God illuminates our hearts and minds,
and by guiding us towards a much deeper understanding of His eternal word.
We are not just students, we are disciples on a mission, and the dream of this college, which is to expand this church across Africa, resonates within each of us.
Your support enables us to become the vessels of His love, compassion, and truth.
Reaching out to our communities and spreading the gospel to those who desperately need it.
We've had overflowing with gratitude. We thank you, our esteemed donors, for your unwavering support.
Your faith in God's plan and your commitment to His word propelled us forward.
Together, as fellow laborers in His vineyard, we are sowing seeds of transformation that will blossom for generations.
May God bless you abundantly, and may His grace continue to guide you as we strive to fulfill the divine purpose of SAPS.
We stand united in our mission to expand His church, bring hope to the lost, and glorify His name in all that we do.
There you go. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I'm happy to answer any questions after services because I see I've gone long. Oh, and that clock's fast, right? Right? That clock is fast, right? So I didn't go as long as I thought I did. 2 minutes. 2 minutes too long. So thank you very much for your support and prayers. It's greatly appreciated.